Hey, yo everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video. And today we're going to be talking about a very controversial issue that has come out from DC Comics in the past weeks. I waited a couple weeks to talk about it just because I really wanted people to read it. I didn't want to spoil anything for anyone because we are going to be talking spoilers in this. But an issue that really has kind of caused a schism in the fandom and really pissed off a lot of people. Am I one of the people that got pissed off? Well, we'll have to wait and see. But, warning, right? Spoiler alert, I am going to be talking about everything that's happened in this issue. And this issue is none other than Heroes in Crisis issue number 8. This issue we get a reveal of who the Sanctuary Killer was. So I would like to think most of you have already read this issue, not watched this issue, that would be interesting. Read this issue and know what is going on, and it's kind of here to hear me either talk about it or rant or whatever the case may be, get my opinion, or some of you are crazy enough to listen to me to get your spoilers. Okay, well, if you want to go down that route, we can go down that route. This is something that I wanted to talk about for a while now. I just haven't had a chance to. We've been kind of crazy here at the homestead, and I've actually have some time in between the gym and my family getting home that I figured I'd take some time to do a quick video talking about this. So, again, spoiler alert, here we go. Now, for those of you that might be living under a rock, we find out that the Sanctuary Killer is none other than our boy, good old Wally West. Yeah, Wally West went a little apeshit and killed every single hero. Well, maybe not every single hero, but a good chunk of the heroes in Sanctuary. Basically, Wally has not had it really that good since Flashpoint. He's been removed from continuity. He comes back. He has the memories of pre-New 52 Earth, but he doesn't have any of the relationships. He doesn't have his wife. He doesn't have his kids. And it's kind of making him break and crack. And you know what? I kind of sympathize for him. Being a father and a husband myself, if I entered into a world where my family never existed, it would break me too. What makes matters worse is Wally tries to reconnect with his wife and try to rebuild that life he had with the Titans and with Barry and with Iris, but it just doesn't work out that well. So he goes to Sanctuary time, kind of get a feel of things and to get his head straight and hopefully get back on the right track, but while in Sanctuary he has a nervous breakdown, and nervous breakdown plus Speed Force equals uh-oh, shit just got real. And in a moment, a temporary grief-stricken madness, I want to say? I don't know. He loses control and goes super fast and kills everyone. So, after that happens, Wally West goes into the future to buy him some time. He kills himself in the future, throws the dead body there, so everyone thinks he's one of the victims, and convinces Harley Quinn and Booster Gold that they, in fact, each other are the murderers, using holographic technology from Sanctuary and his super speed. And then he covers up each murder by putting various different things down to make it look like it was either Wally or not Wally, that it was either Booster or Harley that caused the killings. Now, this has caused a lot of angst with people on the internet. Of course, it's the internet. But basically because, one, Wally West killed a bunch of people. Number two, Wally West is a very fan-favorite character, so this is a dramatic turn for them. And number three is he tried to cover it up. So I'm going to talk about each one of them, but I think it's best to give you a frame of reference on where I kind of stand on this, because Wally West is one of the most interesting and important characters in DC Comics. The first generation of sidekicks, Wally West, Donna Troy, Dick Grayson, Garth, Roy Harper, these superheroes that were the original sidekicks to Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Flash, Aquaman, all the other ones. Well, maybe not Green Lantern, he doesn't have a sidekick. And Superman. Anyways, these first generation of superheroes, these first generation of sidekicks, are really important to the mythos of the DC Universe. Either as individuals or as a group. As the Titans, or the Teen Titans, or the New Teen Titans, or whatever they want to call themselves, or as their own persons. And they kind of grow up and they become their own person, right? Donna Troy goes from Wonder Girl to Troya. You have Garth, who goes from Aqualad to Tempest. You have Roy Harper, who is Speedy, who turns into Arsenal. You have, but most famously, Dick Grayson, who was Robin, that became Nightwing, and Wally West, that was Kid Flash, that became Flash. Now, if you take Wally West and you take Dick Grayson, they kind of are just opposed to each other in their evolution and growth, because both of them have stepped outside of the shadow of their mentor and became their own person. The only difference between the two of them is they approached it differently. Wally West actually became the Flash. He adopted the persona of his mentor, and Dick had done that from time to time, but he always reverted back to the Nightwing persona. Wally West was the Flash for 20 years. When people think of Wally West, they think of their Flash, as opposed to Nightwing, who kind of became his own man. Now, there's merit to both of them, right? One could say, well, Wally West did what Nightwing couldn't and had become the superhero that helped mentor him and create him. But on the flip side, Wally West never created his own persona, really. He's always been the Flash. Nightwing is his own persona, Nightwing. He's made himself into his own man. Now, this isn't a Wally West or Dick Grayson debate, because both paths are equally important. But here's the thing. This is where I stand on Wally West as a character. I love Wally West. I love him with all my heart because he was a Titan. The new Teen Titans, George Perez, Marv Wolfman's run, is one of the best things that has ever happened to comics and to my own comic experience. But Wally West isn't my Flash. Barry Allen's my Flash. Hi, Barry. Hi, how you doing? There's a couple Wallies there. Don't worry. There's a couple Wallies all over the place. But Barry Allen's my Flash. Barry Allen's the Flash I've read the most of. From the Silver Age and the Bronze Age stuff, to the current continuity. He's the Flash that we get the most exposure from. The Injustice games, to the TV show, to the movies, to everything. Like, he is the Flash. I think Wally West was most predominant in the comics during the 90s and the 2000s, but also really was the Justice League cartoon. The Justice League cartoon did many things, but it made Wally West into a household name, as well as Jon Stewart, who, ironically, up to that point, was never really a Justice Leaguer. So, Wally was never really my Flash. So, unlike a lot of people, I'm not as heartbroken about Wally West going super King Kamehameha crazy. Because, one, I kind of saw it coming. We had spoilers that apparently Wally West has joined the Suicide Squad on Brian Azzarello's run on it. There was some kind of Bleeding Cool article about that. I don't know when it was put out, but I remember reading that. So I had a feeling Wally was going to be the murderer, or at least part of it. And number two is, again, he's not my Flash, so I'm not as hurt by it. But I am really kind of disappointed in DC Comics. Because, while I am not as upset as a lot of people, I don't blame people for being upset. Why? Because this is grossly outside of Wally West's character. Now, I can understand a story in which Wally kind of goes cuckoo from Cocoa Puffs from the tragedy that has hit him. Again, if I was in Wally's position, I would not be in the right mind. And have a moment of weakness and snap and go super speed. I can get that happening, right? But here's my problem. He goes and he covers it up. He goes and he frames people. That's not the Wally West we know. And I think that's the biggest thing that people have problems with, is that Wally West has done, in essence, a criminal activity in covering up the unintentional manslaughter. Because that's what it was. It wasn't murder. It's not like he went around and killed people on purpose. It was an accident. That's manslaughter. It's not good, but it's a completely different thing. But he goes and he covers it up. And that in itself is a crime. And I don't care how broken Wally is, my Wally West would probably go to Barry or Iris or Dick and say, I fucked up. I'm not healthy, I'm not safe, I'm not in my right mind. Save me, stop me, punch me, do whatever. But, like, I did something wrong. But he covers it up. Which sucks, right? And I don't agree with DC's approach on that. Here's a caveat, right? Here's the asterisk. For everyone that's pissed off about Wally West, which I totally support, I'm pissed off too. Not to the same degree as some other people, but I'm still pissed off. This is what I have to say. There are people out there who have gone on so far to make death threats to Tom King, the writer of this comic. And first of all, that's unacceptable, right? The man is a writer. He's telling a story. No way, in shape and form, should you ever make death threats to anyone. Unacceptable. I don't condone those, and I won't read them, and I won't address who said them or why they said them or anything like that. If you want to look at it, you can go look at it, but I don't want to give those people a voice or a platform. But to do that, my friends, as part of the comic book brotherhood and sisterhood and family that we're all part of, to do that to one of the people that give us stories. And listen, I have my problem with Tom King every once in a while. He broke up Catwoman and Batman. That bothered me to no end. But he's a writer. He's a good man. I met him. He's a really good guy. And to do that is unacceptable. But here's the other thing. And this is the other asterisk. This is issue 8 of 9. Right? The story is not over. We can rage quit and go fan crazy over the fact that this happened, and we have every right to be. But we should really reserve our opinions completely until the story ends. Maybe it gets resolved, maybe it gets fixed, maybe it doesn't. We don't know. The story is not over. Tom King has one more issue to either win us all over or not. And regardless of what the result is, it's a story. And as comic book fans, we can be pissed, we can be upset, we can be sad. And we have every right to be. But we need to be mature. And we need to stand by each other. Regardless of how good or bad a writer is, regardless if we agree or disagree with what they do, we can't act the way that we do. Right? And that's kind of the big thing that's been bothering me. But the other big thing is, despite how much I really don't agree with the portrayal of Wally West in this comic, give it one more issue. And I'm going to follow up with issue 9, and I'll talk about the ending, right? But give it one more issue. I think that's, at the very least, King deserves that. I think DC deserves that, to see where the issue goes. Who knows? But I am curious what everyone's opinion is on this issue and the topics and the stuff that I've discussed in this. With that said, this is Andrew saying, peace out for now.